Before Crew, I have never imagined myself being able to minister to others and especially to high school students. I really saw myself as living life for just me. The way I saw the world was that there's no one else to help you, and not having a man or a real family in life that could help me. So I saw that I had to be very self-driven, and that was the way I thought the world worked. So when I first got the courage to actually share my story, it was when I went to my first retreat with Crew. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to be able to relate to me or even just be able to talk with me or understand me. And it honestly made me super skeptical even while I was sharing it. But just having people individually come up to me afterwards and not only thank me, but wanting to hear more, helped me see that there's probably so much more that I didn't share that people actually relate to.
In 2 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul says that we are fragile clay jars and that God's glory shines through the cracks. He says that all of our story, the struggles we experience, and the comfort we receive from God is given to us so that we might comfort, encourage, and bless others. We don't have to have it all together. It is in our weakness that God demonstrates His strength.
So for anyone out there that is either confused or skeptical or not really understanding how to share their own story, first off, I want to say that there is amazing weight and amazing power to each and every individual testimony in this life. And I want to personally tell you, don't ever compare yourself to anybody else, or don't ever compare your story to anyone else's, because I've had numerous people come up to me trying to compare their story to mine and basically telling me that because nothing bad ever happened in their life, or they never had any traumatic experiences, that they can't impact anyone else around them. And I just want to tell you that's a lie from the enemy. There is real weight in every single story in this world, and if we are able to even impact that one special soul in our lives, I know that God can do amazing things through that, and He can continue to use your story.
John has a great story, but you have a voice too. God has shaped your story to give you a unique voice to share with the world. So let's take a look at some practical ways to identify your story and ways you can share it with others. It's a method we call finding your voice. First, you look back. Think back to a recent challenge you went through. What was the situation you were dealing with? What was the underlying issue that made this situation so hard? Was there a fear, a need, a pain, or a deep desire that made this situation significant to you? Then, you look up. Where do you see God in your story? How does Jesus' life or character or promises address that situation, and especially the underlying issue? What difference does it make to walk with Jesus through that situation? Take some time to pray and ask God to show you how He is entering into your story. Lastly, look forward. How is your experience with God impacting the challenge in your day-to-day life now? How will you address challenges like this in the future? Students today want to know how God meets them in their everyday lives. They need to see a real God entering into the lives of real people with real problems. And whether you realize it or not, you have a story to tell, and they need to hear it. As they hear your story, they will begin to recognize that if this God can help you with your pain and problems, maybe He could help them too. You can make this a regular practice to gather these stories of the difference God is making in your life every week or month. You'll find God is building you up as you reflect on these stories. So take some time today to look back, look up, and look forward, and develop your own voice to share the stories that God is writing in your life. We can't wait to hear about how God uses your story in the lives of others.